When you think about spiders, what comes to mind? Probably webs, 8 legs, unintelligent, and maybe Halloween? But in today's video, we're going to explore a canopy ecosystem with prehistoric giants, hunters, and the most intelligent spider on the planet. In the animal kingdom, there is a very wide spectrum of intelligence. Sure, we've all heard that chimpanzees and dolphins are extremely intelligent and social, but what about insects and arachnids? This is where it becomes more interesting. When you stare at a little housefly, you probably aren't assuming that it's an extremely intelligent creature, but it's a little more complex than it may seem. The honeybee, for example, is considered to be the smartest insect on the planet, being able to have a symbolic language, use tools, learn by observation, and they can even count numbers. This is what most of us imagine when we think of a spider, right? Bulky, somewhat slow, long legs, poor vision, and a web. But this is not all spiders. But this is the genius of the arachnid world, the jumping spider. There are over 600 different species of jumping spiders, but the primary difference between a jumping spider and a regular spider is they do not spin webs to hunt their prey. Ever since I was a kid, I've always been fascinated by jumping spiders. Something about them seems so curious and interesting. They're always looking around, taking in their environment, maybe calculating their next move. It's easy to say jumping spiders look intelligent, but are they actually intelligent? Well, I'm not the first person to wonder this. Despite literally having the brain size of a pinhead, studies have looked at the cognitive function of jumping spiders and have determined that they have actual cognitive capabilities, and they don't just react instinctively to their surroundings, like a housefly, which is crazy. Professor Jimena Nelson, an animal behavior researcher from the University of Canterbury, suggests that the jumping spider's intelligence may stem from their amazing vision, which allows them to explore and understand environments around them better, rather than relying on other senses like vibrations alone. The more I learned about jumping spiders, the more it blew my mind. This is a Phoedipius regius. She is nearing adult size and is an impressive hunter. This female jumper needs a home, not just a normal plastic container home, but something that can keep this spider interested in exploring. It seems cruel to put such an amazing, intelligent spider in a plastic cup for her whole life. We're building an ecosystem. As with every ecosystem, we're starting with the ground, aka the substrate. The substrate consists of peat moss, coconut fiber, topsoil, dead leaves, and wood, and this mix is very important, not for the spider, but for something else. I also have a drainage layer below to prevent flooding and stagnant water. After putting in some plants, moss, dead leaves, and grapewood branches, here is the final product. This ecosystem is made to utilize the upper airspace with plants and branches. After all, jumping spiders are primarily arboreal, which means they live above ground, climbing and jumping. The first creature to go into the canopy ecosystem, isopods and springtails. They may not be the most exciting organisms, but they are the cleaning crew of the ecosystem and will clean up any decaying animal or plant matter. I have some dairy cow isopods, which can easily be recognized by their white and black coloration. Now, it's time to introduce the mastermind of the ecosystem, the jumping spider. She's nested up in the container lid, but there we go. She's in. As expected, she immediately begins moving and exploring. Notice how she is constantly looking around, turning her whole body. There is even an unwanted guest climbing around. We'll leave her to settle in. It's probably pretty stressful being thrown into a canopy jungle alone. Now, it's time to add in some very different creatures into this canopy jungle, and they likely won't be making use of the plants or branches above. Giant millipedes. Animals don't get much more prehistoric than millipedes. Fossil evidence suggests that millipedes were the earliest animals to breathe air and move onto land from water, dating back over 428 million years. These aren't regular millipedes, these are giants. They require dark, humid environments and feed primarily on leaf litter and decaying wood. This is a group of 3 males and 2 females. Hopefully they can thrive and grow, and maybe, just maybe, we'll see baby millipedes in the future. They immediately begin to spread out and hide. They are nocturnal, so they probably are heading to sleep. The ecosystem is in place. Now, all we can do is sit and watch. It's been a while. 2 months later, a while. Our ecosystem has transformed quite a bit. Plants grew and died. Creatures reproduced and passed away. And even some reconstruction occurred. Our female jumping spider has explored just about every inch of this jungle and watches the small kingdom from a very high vantage point up top. But I haven't seen her in a bit, meaning weeks. She was previously making use of webbing on the top of the enclosure, but it appears she's abandoned that area for some reason. She could be hiding, molting, or something worse has happened. The ground level organisms remain buried in the substrate, but where there is moisture, there is life. To give the organisms a boost, I'm placing a cucumber slice on the ground. Another day in the canopy jungle comes to an end, but for others, the day is just starting. As the darkness covers the jungle, hidden creatures emerge and immediately sense the new food source. But something else appears. A scorpion. Not just any scorpion, but a young Asian forest scorpion. Remember my adult Asian forest scorpions? Well, this is the largest of their babies, but this is a dangerous environment and a risky place for a baby scorpion to live. Another day starts, but something is different. Rainfall. Water reinvigorates the jungle. The plants get much needed hydration, and pretty much every organism in the jungle can benefit. I even spot a local traveler. Snails dry out very easily, and they rely on moisture to survive, everything from feeding to reproduction. That's probably why we spot snails in the wild after rainfall. This little guy is in search for food. Then, suddenly, the jumping spider appears. After weeks of not seeing her, she's appeared. She looks larger than before, but also significantly skinnier in her abdomen. All arachnids have to molt because their exoskeletons can't stretch. They are forced to literally change bodies to grow larger. I'm going to guess she's looking for food. Hopefully, because if she's getting skinnier and not looking for food or water, that's a big problem. This is a large female cricket wandering on the jungle floor. Female crickets can be easily deciphered from male crickets because they have a long antenna-looking tube coming out of their abdomen. This is for laying eggs into wood, soil, or plants. It appears this cricket is looking for food and not really interested in laying eggs right now. She's completely unaware that the jumping spider is surveying the Canopy jungle, looking for any kind of movement. The jumping spider locks onto the cricket with her amazing eyesight and moves in. Because of their eyes around their head, she has nearly a 360-degree view of her surroundings, making her a living surveillance system. The cricket is moving quickly through the jungle, but she doesn't even know she's being watched. I've never seen the jumping spider walk down to ground level like this. Closer and closer. And in the blink of an eye, where did she go? There. The jumping spider has jumped and latched onto the cricket and is holding onto the prey upside down? This means the spider's fangs are in the cricket, but it'll take time for the venom to set in. Until then, she will have to wrangle the cricket and avoid getting thrown off. The jumping spider venom will slowly paralyze the cricket. The cricket continues to struggle, and over the course of 20 minutes, the jumping spider finally wins. She has her trophy, and now it's time to consume the prey. The venom attacks the cricket's nervous system while breaking down the cricket tissue. Then, over the course of the next few hours, she will suck out the cricket's insides, pretty much like a soft drink. The day comes to an end, and the jumping spider returns to her nest, now in the cork log after a long day. The next day starts with excitement. The baby scorpion is seen wandering on the ground level, and it's daytime. I rarely ever see my scorpions out during the day, so this is unusual. And to make matters worse, the jumping spider is climbing around above. Right now, the spider doesn't have a clear view of the scorpion. But wait. It appears she spots the young scorpion. I'm extremely nervous. Just as I'm about to intervene, the jumping spider looks in a different direction. The young scorpion scurries back to his burrow. This jungle has served as a functioning ecosystem for months. The plants have established themselves while the detritivores have begun reproducing. I even spot tiny baby millipedes crawling around in the dirt. To this point, our baby scorpion remains alive and well. Our Phidippus regius jumping spider is thriving in this mini jungle, and she should be able to comfortably live here for the rest of her life. Unfortunately, the average lifespan of this jumping spider is only about 1 to 2 years, but that still leaves plenty of time for this intelligent spider. But that also means there is another major objective: trying to find her a mate. Next time on Creature Kingdom, we discover a hidden colony of cannibal vampires.